Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the update 1.89 development server. Today we're going to be taking a look at all three of the brand new French ground vehicles. First off, the Leclair Mbt, the brand new tier 7 main battle tank, then the ROLAND, which is a brand new anti-aircraft missile platform, and finally the Super AMX-30, which is the brand new tier 6 premium. So the Leclair, this is the top tier 10.0 BR tier 7 MBT. 120mm gun, pretty good firepower. Unfortunately, no machine guns of any sort, or any guns of any sort, be that, on top of the turret. The only machine gun is mounted coaxially next to the gun, and then you also do have 14 smoke grenades, of which are actually mounted in such a position that you will have 360-degree coverage when you fire the smoke grenades. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the armor protection analysis. It's a bit iffy. So what we're doing, TATU, using the best round that it has access to. As you can see, it can be penned everywhere. Now, this could be due to one of two things. Either the armor does kind of suck, this is at 1 kilometer range by the way, or it's not modeled properly. Considering this is the first dev server, and you know, a lot of stuff is glitchy, not fully modeled, I think it's more likely that the modeling of the armor is not complete. Same thing that we had with the Arriere and the Leopard 2A5 last update, just this time with the Leclerc. This will likely be modeled in before the second dev server, or at a minimum before the live update goes up. So, Camouflage, what do you got? So obviously the standard green camo, got a load of desert camos, quite interesting, a forest camo, another one, tricolor desert, which is quite nice. I have that on my premium tier 5 AMX-30, standard base desert camo, just plain sand tone, then the unlockable winter camo, then this camo, the forward camo, I really like that one, and then the NATO Kark camouflage. So as you can see, great range of different types of camouflage options there, all of which will be sort of adapted to a different gameplay scenario or a different environment. I have been using the forward camo. Why have I been doing this? Does it give me some amazing advantage? Not really, I just like the paint scheme. It looks quite nice. So obviously we're doing some actual gameplay. The Leclerc is the only one of these three vehicles I have actual gameplay footage for. Unfortunately, I didn't have a huge amount of time on the dev server, so I had to sort of take what I could get. So obviously we are on Alaska. Oh, we find an Abrams booth. Cannon breach out. He's certainly not doing anything, but then I get shot at. And strangely enough, whoever shot me completely disappears. I don't know who it was. It might have been that M1A1 with the 50 cal on top, but I don't see why that would have penned me. But I'm trying to think of reasons, because I see no one coming towards me, no one ever appears. So I just sit there, repair the engine, drop the smoke grenades, and as you can see, 360-degree coverage, and you still have 10 smoke grenades to go, only launched 4 of them then, so pretty damn good. The tank itself, mobility is pretty damn good. It's good mobility, of course. It is slightly lighter than most other NATO MBTs. The gun itself is very good. The round is the most powerful in the game. I believe it has 537 millipen, around there at least. I will put the stat card up on screen for the APFSDS round, just to clarify. There is the round on screen. Look at it now. But yeah, so pretty good. Best round in the game as of this update. Knowing Gaijin, it will likely be trumped than in the next update by something else. There is an Abrams. Bye-bye, Abrams. Turning to the side, we see, what is that? Oh, is that an AMX-30 DCA? Yes, it is. And that's a double kill. And there we have a bot M26 Pershing. So I knock out his gun, knock out his turret, just to make sure he can't shoot me. Obviously, you don't want him firing at you. The MBTs, in general, they have strong bits of armor where it matters, but there are a lot of parts, for example, on this, the lower frontal plate, the sides, the back, where the armor is weak. A bot could theoretically kill you on the dev server, so you do actually still need to be quite careful. But there we go, so capping the base, but unfortunately it's not enough. The game is over. 5 kills and 1 kill assist, third in the team. So this next game is on the map Fulda, a map that at least I personally enjoy playing on. Now, at the start of the game, I went to the castle. Me and my team took this position. Unfortunately, nothing really happened for me while we were taking it. But then out of the corner of my eye, I spot an M1 Abrams across there in the rocks, sniping down onto the sea point. So I see him, use the binoculars just to double check it is in fact a tank, and it is. So I move forward, get aimed up, and fire a shot. Luckily that first shot for me does knock out his barrel and his breech, so he can no longer shoot, and while he's trying to escape, I put a nice shot into the side of the turret, knocking out the remainder of his crew, giving me my first kill in this game. Now the next one is yet another Abrams. I'm sort of hiding down here near the castle, waiting for the enemy to come along. This is a very nice position actually, I use this quite a lot, and there he is driving along. There's a little Abrams up on the hill. It looks like he might be on fire from what I can see, although maybe he's put it out. But there he is, sitting there, and boom, there we go. Back, hit the ammo rack, boom, boom. Looks like his blowout panels didn't really do their job, and the ammo just killed the entire crew. So good stuff there, second kill for me. So after that, you know, I was moving along, and I do come across another enemy, another M1A, an M1A1, I believe. I do have to shoot through some bushes, so it's not the most accurate. I'm not able to really that accurately spot the best bit of the tank. Luckily, I knock out the gun and the loader just before it looks like he's about to fire at me, get another hit, and then just before I fire a final shot, he gets blown up by a Valtor, the Israeli Valtor, the French premium, giving me an assist there. So, you know, could have been a kill, but at least I got something. So next up, I moved into the C point, which had been uncapped for basically the majority of this game. So I rushed down here with a fair amount of confidence that sort of the area towards the enemy spawn was clear, and I would have the opportunity to get here without being killed. And luckily I was right in that aspect. I got down, got the C point capped, giving me some more points, thanks to the cap. Unfortunately with the Leclerc, I would have got better gameplay. But literally the two games in this video are the only games I played. I did not do any other games in this tank. Very much I was focusing more on some more obscure vehicles, although it turns out a lot of people are focusing on them. Like, for example, the A2D. I played quite a lot in that, and a bit in the Hunter as well, although I didn't really focus on the Leclerc. But now we're moving on to the Roland 1. This is a Tier 7 tank. Well, not a tank, it's a armoured sort of missile platform. 10.0 BR, and you have 10 Roland anti-aircraft missiles. Basically with this though, to rearm, the turret has to turn back to facing directly forward. The missile launchers have to be level, and then it can rearm. You also have smoke grenade launchers, but no additional weapons. The missiles look quite pointy, although they really don't have much pen. I will put the stat card for the missiles up on screen while I'm talking about this, just so you can see, because off the top of my head, can't remember the stats, but I'll make sure they're up on screen. As you can see though, you start off with the Roland 1, you can then upgrade to the Roland 3 missile, which has a marginal increase in pen, but for the most part it's just a faster missile. The footage for the test drive in this video will be using the Roland 1, and the whole vehicle is in the stock configuration. Apart from doing the test drive, I did not use this vehicle. This is one of the ones I want to come back to, hopefully on the second dev server, if there is a second dev server. Obviously, wide range of camos. You have the forward camo on this as well, actually. It looks kind of funny. And then the cart camo. You just have all the standard ones, really. The standard ones the French would have, the NATO camos, and then just the base French ones. I did then buy the bicolor desert camo, so I had that. I didn't really want to go with the stock camo. I thought, yeah, might as well just get it. Like, I have a bunch of Golden Eagles in the dev server, so why not? And here we are. So we can see on the radar, we have got an enemy vehicle, 2 enemy aircraft above. So I decided to go for the IL-28 first, so I fire the missile. There is a smoke trail on this, so it can be a bit iffy to see, although, you know what, it seems to go quite well, and after sort of trailing him for a bit, it does, the proximity fuse goes off and kills him. I believe they're proximity fuses, at least. They seem to, when they get close, just blow up and murder the enemy aircraft. MiG-15, flying kind of low, the trees are in the way. I want sort of good visibility for the whole time that the missile is tracking, so that I can actually sort of guide the thing properly, rather than it being behind trees. So once the MiG-15 comes into a good view, I fire off the missile, and just have to really keep it in the right place. Eventually the missile does get very tricky to see, but if you know roughly how to aim, you should be okay. As you see, the turret needs to right itself and aim forward, and then the missile launchers need to be leveled so that it can then rearm. You don't have to be stopped, though, to rearm. You can be on the move, so you can be driving around as it's rearming, and once it is sort of leveled and rearming, it does it quite quickly, so it's not really a major issue. Of course, though, because it fires projectiles, because it fires missiles, you need to be stopped, or at least moving very slowly, to be allowed to fire the missiles. Now, you will have heard me mention a minute ago that this is not for killing tanks. It is only aircraft. Not much pen on these missiles, on the Roland 1 or the Roland 2. So, obviously, you can kill lightly armoured things like the ZSU-23, the Shilka. You can fire a missile at him. He will die, because it has no armour, and it has hull break. So, yeah, he's dead. But actual tanks and even some infantry fighting vehicles, you won't really do anything to. For example, this IT-1, drive up next to him. As you can see, it says stop tank for fire. You need to stop to be able to fire. So I stop the vehicle, fire the missile, and all it does is damage the track. I sort of gave up after that, and that was that. So the AMX-30 Super, brand new Tier 6 Premium, 8.7 BR, 105mm stabilized gun, and a more powerful engine. What is it? Is it good? Is it bad? Yeah, I don't know. The mobility certainly seems better. So obviously, the only AMX-30 I have currently is the Tier 5 Premium. I've been using that to grind the French Tech Tree recently. I've had it for quite a while, got it on the sales about a year ago. But this vehicle, it feels better. The stabilizer, the stabilized gun, a lot better. Certainly helps. It makes it feel a lot more like a proper MBT, and of course you don't have to stop the vehicle and wait for the gun to stabilize, which means you can shoot enemies a lot quicker. Also, another thing to mention, the engine power, the general mobility. The vehicle feels a lot lighter. It feels a lot more free. You can sort of just move it around quite a lot easier. The early AMX-30s, they feel fairly heavy because the engines aren't so powerful. The slightly more powerful engine does certainly help though in that regard. As you can see from the armor protection analysis in the background, you're not going to be stopping any shots. This thing, it's not really known for its armor. As said in the dev blog with this vehicle, the upgrade program for the AMX-30 Super was not to increase the armor. The armor is the same as the standard AMX-30. The main idea was to give it a more powerful engine, stabilized gun, just generally sort of quality of life updates. So the vehicle itself, not any more armor. So the armor is kind of sucky. Although moving on from that, you could go with the rule that less armor is more, purely because the shots in some cases might just go straight through, although I feel like if you get hit by any type of chemical round, you're gonna die. So that is definitely a negative. The rounds, heat round, HE round, smoke round, APFSDS. The APFSDS round is the one that I personally would go with. All the stats will be bigger on the screen, just so that you can see it a bit easier. Obviously, I'm showing it on the modifications page, but I'll put them up bigger. But yeah, so there we go. Camouflages, just to finish off the standard desert. You have a bicolor desert camouflage. You then have a bicolor forest camouflage, which actually does look quite nice. This camo, same one I have on my Tier 5 AMX-30. You then have an unlockable winter camo, a purchasable winter camo, which is basically the same thing, and then a stock summer camouflage. So, you know, you have a good variety of stuff there. Let's now go and do a test drive and see how good this thing actually performs. It's pretty good, I can say. It's decent. It's not too bad. The turret rotation's nice. As you can see, set fire to that. Yeah, pretty good. Set fire to it. Seems to burn. I'm just going to let him burn to death. Going to try and fire at the T-64. Let's try and get the lower frontal plate, shall we? So, trying to get aimed. And there we go, lower frontal plate. Engine's hit. He didn't set on fire, though. So I'm going to go for a second shot, see if we can get it in and murder him this time. And there we go. Just the very top of the lower frontal plate. The ammunition went up. Good stuff. Now here we have another tank. Boom. Driver, loader, fuel tank, and cannon breech are out. The IT-1 did burn to death. And now we're loading a HE round. We're going to fire a HE at the shulker. We're going to see if we can kill it. So get aimed up nicely. Hopefully we'll lead it right. And there we go. Nice. Hull break. Of course, hull break. It's a 105mm round. Has a lot of explosive filler. It's going to set off the hull break and destroy that vehicle. There we go. That's another one kill through the upper frontal plate. Knocked out the driver, one of the remaining crew members. That is yet another vehicle destroyed. Moving on a bit further now, we're going to go and take out some more stuff. Obviously, you're now getting some of the heavier vehicles like the T10 and also the T64A. Now, luckily for this vehicle, for the T64A especially, the T64s, at closer range you can pen them easily, and as you saw there, one shot sort of through the angle, just through the side of the front of the vehicle, went in, set the ammo off. T10 right now, yep, driver loader out, sort of hit the upper frontal plate there, and it went in, so pretty decent there. As you can see, the speed, not too bad, good speed. Decent speed, and also it's fairly easy to adjust the direction. It's a very sort of free moving MBT. It'll let you turn quite easily. So another T64. I have a feeling this is going to go straight through the upper frontal plate. Obviously with the T64A there was the driver's port, of which means that in the upper frontal plate, massive weak spot. Half of it in the middle just has no armor effectively, so anything will go through. Smoke grenades, 2 sets. You obviously have 8 at the front of the turret either side, and then you have 8 at the back of the turret, mounted either side, in sort of sets of 4. 2 bursts of smoke grenades there, so that should last you quite a while, and of course you can always go back to a base and rearm those. Anyway though, so there's the new French vehicles, the Roland, the Leclerc, and the AMX-30 Super. Let me know what you think in the comments. I thought rather than doing individual videos for each, I should just bundle them into one, because if you want to look at the French vehicles, just come to one video, take a look at it here. Anyway though, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, maybe smash the like button, that would be appreciated. Maybe even subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more dev content, or just more general War Thunder content from me. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.